Hello,
Hello, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Today we will start our lecture series. Uh, First, I will introduce myself. I am an engineer Kithmal Perera. Basically, I am a chartered engineer and also the structural engineer and civil engineer doing construction management, construction procurement, and also the project management. So uh, today I am going to discuss about the procurement methodologies and also the procurement guidelines and more important key areas. So, how many students in this time? I can see 14 participants. I think more. Um,
Yes, sir,
uh,
there should be 21 students for this subject.
okay, so I will start now. So I
Yes,
will
sir, they
share
will join the session during session. Yes, sir.
your recording the session. Right, okay. So I will start. I will share in the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, can see.
Right. Start now. So today lecture is a different stage in construction procurement. So I'm engineer Kithmal. So this lecture series contain the project concept development. So most important of the project when you are developing the concept, then the project feasibility. What is the project feasibility and feasibility studies methods and tools? What are the what kind of study you can do, and also the tools to do that one. Imports in the design in construction, estimation, procurement, construction use and maintenance, and post-construction. These are the topics I'm going to discuss under this project development. First, I am going to discuss the project concept development. It is the process of creating and referring project idea to establish a clear vision, goal, and requirement. So when your concept is developed, if you want to develop a concept, you should have a clear vision. Which kind of requirement you want and what are the goals? This phase involves defining the project scope, objectives, and feasibility, which lays foundation for the subsequent planning and execution. As I said, for the developer, for example, nowadays you can see a lot of apartment projects, condominium projects are coming now. So that is their vision is to do the apartment project, maybe do a high quality projects, high end apartment projects. Goals to do a uh, uh, fast construction or whatever, get a more profit like that. And the requirements. So what are the requirements to do that apartment projects? So likewise, you have to develop the project concept development to for your required project. Development of the project concept involves identify the need or opportunity. As I said, nowadays, now these points are very valid. You can get notes also that, especially nowadays, now that FD rates are going down. Well, you know that we are in a one single digit rates, so then the FD rates are going down, and no one want to keep a uh, money in the bank. So there is an opportunity for to invest. And also nowadays that people don't like to build a houses, individual houses, because getting purchasing a land and doing a house, and again you can go for to get an apartment for that price, or maybe cheaper price from that area. So the people have a need the houses in a easy mobility access like that. There are needs. So project is developed based on the need and opportunity, especially needs. If, as I said, that manufacturers are getting success by they are addressing for the issues or issues for the buyers. Likewise, as for the developers coming up to cater needs and opportunity needs, and also they identified the opportunity to success to get more profit. Developing initial project scope. So when you have a you have to have a find out what is the project scope develop. So initial project scope you have to develop. For example, nowadays I am involved to do a project near the Rajagiri area, not in the center, but little bit outside, little 1 kilometer away from the city, so that the developer is want to do a apartment on that side. So that is the initial project scope. Do a apartment for a affordable price. So that is his then. The objectives is him that and the goals is do a fast construction and do a quick sales within 2 years and get a reasonable profit. So you have to have a setting up the objectives and the goals, and also so his objectives to cater the middle class tenants. So he has put a he has considered that he has done a market survey and see whether it's better to cater for that guy. And also assessing feasibility. Anyone can image the project. For example, so Malabe area or Kalutara district, you can do a luxurious house like Shangri-La, whatever, not the hotel, apartment. But the feasibility is it's not practical. No? So feasibility is a practicability. So that's not. So this kind of apartment will not financial feasible in that side. So it's important assessing feasibility, and also when, as I said, that lagoon area you can't do the construction. Near the airports you can't do the apartment. How much it's very attractive, you can't do the high-rise building near the airports. So assessing feasibility is one of the key point. And also you need to identify the stakeholders to develop the project. So when you are doing as I said, we get the same example, do the apartment building. So you need architect. First, you have to have a land, or you have to identify the land sellers. So you have to you want to buy or purchase a land, or you have to go with the joint venture. No? So then you have to identify the stakeholders for the land sellers. Think you have a land, then you need the architect. Then you need the lawyers. You need the authority approval people, and also when you have to find the procurement guy. You have to identify the project managers and the marketing team, and also that lawyers for the legal activities, etc. You have to identify the stakeholder, and also material suppliers. For example, you are proposed to do the steel building, so you need the steel structures suppliers. So you are intend to do the marble walls, then you need the marble suppliers. And likewise, you have to identify the stakeholders who need to involve this project, especially for the complexity of the project. You have to identify the stakeholders. Okay. So, importance of the developing a project concept. Why can anyone tell what is the why it's important to developing a project concept? Can anyone tell?
For the designing of the project and to understand what are the requirements, budgeting, feasibility requirements, to understand what to do next.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, so it is important to identify the next steps. That is the main. So, and the clarity and direction. As Samira said, that you need to identify the direction, clarity of the project. Risk mitigation. You know, most of the projects involve in the lot of risk. Okay, so that's very important. Concept development phase is crucial for several identifying that is a risk mitigation. For example, you are planning to do the we can say do the hotel. So that when you are doing the hotel, there is for example, you are planning to do a hotel near the Anuradhapura. Lot of social issues will come. So that kind of stages you need more carefully handle the situations. And also you have to have a proper guidance before you invest. Resource plan. Based on the project concept, you can do the resource plan. And also stakeholder buy-in. As I said, you can hire architects, engineers like that. And also basis for decision making. For example, you are doing the apartment. Again, I'm getting the apartment project because I'm recently involved in this one. So the client want to do a apartment there, but because you know that depending on the construction number of floors, that the profit will increase for the developers because land value will be same, no? So if the number of floors can go up, so that it's advantage for the developer. Okay, so you are doing the project concept with for example, 10-story building with 30 car parks. But for the 10-story apartment, you can put only 25 car park, 10 to 30 story, you need a 40 car parks lot. Okay. So then no point of doing the 10-story building because you can accommodate only 30 car parks only. Or otherwise, then you have to have another basement or another additional activity. Therefore, so the project concept type, you need to very important to get the decisions whether this project can go ahead or like that. And also it is a foundation of planning, as I said, to how many stories you are going to do. Likewise, you need to you can have a so that is a very good foundation in the project concept development will be a good foundation for the project. So summary of the first few slides. The project concept development is a critical phase that ensure project starts on solid foundation. It's help for clarity, defining the project's purpose, scope, and objective, and set the stage for successful planning and execution. Okay. Now, after you design, you develop the concept, it will come for the feasibility studies. Okay. So the purpose of feasibility study is the constructions are crucial for determining whether the proposed project is viable and worth for pursuing. Okay. The feasibility study assesses the various aspects of project to identify potential challenges and opportunities, ensuring that informed decision can be made before significant resources are committed. Actually, feasibility study is proposed project is practical, achievable, and worthwhile before commencing resources. So as I mentioned here, so that it's very important whether end of the day you will gain of this from this project. Sometimes people realize beginning of the project, but sometime middle of the project you realize that you will going to lose this one for success. Sometime end of the project you will realize. Sometime you in the operation time you will realize. Therefore, it's better to do the feasibility studies for regarding the projects. Can anyone tell what are the which kind of what are the feasibility what are the which kind of types of feasibilities you know about? Hello.
Technical, financial,
Technical,
environmental,
very good. Others,
social.
Social, yeah. Legal is one of the most important one. Okay. So these feasibility studies you have to do. Actually, market analysis also, market feasibility also you have to do sometime. Otherwise, for as I said again, that apartment project, whether you have a demand, so you have to do the study. It can be come as a market analysis, but it's also a feasibility study. Nowadays, a lot of indoor constructions are doing. Last time I gave the report also, project question papers also, that question also in feasibility studies regarding that industry sports stadium. There are so many social impacts, legal issues, approval problems, lot of that involved. So nowadays, then the market analysis also you have to do. Otherwise, your operation cost will be higher than the revenue. No? So these are the purpose of doing the feasibility study. Reduce the risk. So there are so many risks. Risk analysis is another part of the project topic, but there are different risk, financial risks, time risk, the material, likewise operation risk. There are so many risks, but with doing the feasibility studies, you can reduce the risk, save time and money, because it will stop. If you do proper feasibility study, you can get necessary action to prevent the unnecessary delays. So you can get precaution to avoid unnecessary reworks like that. So it saves time and money. For example, if you do proper technical analysis on the ground, soil test, for example, the soil test, before you do the big building, if you do proper technical analysis and say that soil low rock is not good, you can't design a high-rise building on that area. You can build, but you have to have a solid foundation. The foundation cost is much higher. So then you have to ready for that. If you don't have money, with limited fund, you are going for the high-rise building without having funds for the foundation, with the file foundation, you can't complete the project. So it's save the time and money and identify potential issues early. For example, as I said in the Indo crickets, so nighttime, some area, nighttime you can't play. Okay. So there will be social issues and also government regulations. Nighttime you have to have maintaining urban area also, you have to maintain the decibel level 40 decibel. You can't exceed the 40 decibel. So the factory you can't put in a residential area. So you have to limit the pollution. Likewise, so it's potential issues you can clearly identify during the feasibility. Improve planning accuracy. As I said, doing the feasibility study, you can do the proper planning. So you know foundation is tough, then getting the water supplies. So you are doing the project, there's no water supply, water connection. So you have to, beginning of the project, you have to go to the water board and try to get a connection to that site. Or site you can get temporary one, but permanent connection, if you need a big diameter, so you have to go and discuss from beginning of the project. Because for the implementation time, you need you have to have a water. So based on that, you can properly plan. Same time the electricity also same, no? That if you need a high demand, so you have to request. You have to plan on according to that. Sometimes inside also you have to have accommodate.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Sir, return on investment, deciding ROI is a part of the feasibility or another aspect?
You can depend on that. So that is sometimes the government project. So it is not, for example, putting a highway. You are not discussing of the return of investment. So for example, again, I will come for that indoor stadium, financial feasibility. So that is a return of investment. So you are spending 10 to 20 million. When you going to break even that one? Okay. So
Okay, sir.
financial
Thank you.
feasibility also one of the main important thing, but it will not implement for the other. Some requirements you have to cater. No? For a hospital, you need to, if you say rural area, you have to build a hospital. So financial feasibility not relevant on that side. But sometimes you have to work with the budget. But in your private investment, you try to gain in something, then you have to calculate the ROI when your return is return of investment, and when you're going to break even, what is the operation cost, everything you have to calculate. Understood?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And also that's at stake. The purpose is support decision making and investor confidence. So for example, now recently most people are talking about the Mena wind plant, no? Adani project. He asking 0.8 something, no? Because he tried to convince but I am seeing he can invest 500 million or 1 billion USD. So government say, yeah, you have to give a less rate. If I am going to invest, if I put 1 billion USD to the project, it should be returned within 3 years. Your capital has to be covered. Your investment has to be covered within 3 years. So if not, it's not. Sometimes you can say it's no point of this. You better invest on the bank. Sometimes money keeping in the bank is much better than investing on the project. So that rate you are defining, you bring the $1 billion, and the developers should have a benefits. Developer also should get the benefits. They are not coming for the charity, no. There are a lot of indirect facilities coming to the country with that. But paying 0.8 also not possible because our tariff are going up. Not feasible for our side, for the electricity board side. There are a lot of contradiction things. So when you are investing, the basic conditions, as I said, technical, financial, legal, everything should be aligned. So then the technical feasibility. Lot of technical feasibilities are whether we can do the construction or whether we do the project on that without any technical barriers. One is the site analysis, assessing a suitable for the project site, including geotechnical condition, assessing and infrastructure availability. Now, why lot of factories? You may know where the cement factories where newly constructed. Langwa cement. Anyone is working in the construction industry?
Goes to Hambantota side?
Yes, Hambantota. Why they go and put a factory on Hambantota?
Close to port.
Sorry?
Is it port?
Port. Accessibility. Infrastructures are much better than much better than in Hambantota. You can have a road, you have store facilities, port is there, like that. And for example, you all know that the Lotus Tower, no? Previously, Lotus Tower is designed at the Paliagoda. But after several discussions, sometimes I think they have done some design for the Paliagoda as well. But finally, it shifted to the DR Vijayawardhana Mahath. Why? Geotechnical conditions. Because that Paligoda area, the rock is too very deep. So when the lotus tower foundation on the top rock, the foundation is a raft, it's on the rock. So if you have to excavate more, it will cost. And also that the location. Under the feasibility, you have to identify the location. Because you can see most of the towers, Eiffel Tower, Guangzhou Tower, that KL Tower, most of the towers are close to the water bodies. The development rhyme with that. You have to have a attraction of the people. So, this kind of tower will be the icon of the country. Now also that very popular among the tourists now, the Lotus Tower. The next few years, no one is identify Sri Lanka as a Dalada Maligawa or Ruanveli Sai or whatever. So they will put the tower. Same thing doing by the France people. So that that geotechnical, that location is more critical. So then this is the technical feasibility. So when you are doing the project, so I have put some pictures here that do the apartments. Here also that one of the projects. So doing the borehole test. You have to do the borehole test. If you have a limited budget, land cost is very low. But if you want, you have to spend more money on the foundation, no point. So for example, we are doing recent project in Vadua, the prices are very attractive. So the project is that earlier project they designed for the piling designer. Then developer came to us and said, if we go with the piling, I am going to this is not going to be feasible for me because I can't accept much return. So then what we have designed for the raft foundation. To do that one, you have to do the technical feasibilities. You have to do the soil test, ground condition, water table test. Likewise, you have to do it. So technical feasibility, design consider evaluating the architectural and engineering aspect, including structural integrity, design compatibility, and potential construction methods. And also resource availability, analyzing the availability of material, labor, and equipment required for the project. For example, you can, when you are doing the port city project, if government of Sri Lanka said Sri Lankan contractor do the port city, it is impossible. They have to go to the foreign contractor, experienced contractor, because we don't have equipment. Okay. Likewise, that resource availability also important. Technically, you have to identify. Anyone is involving for the project tendering process of the your company, not for the construction. Other one, maybe for the purchasing of printers or stationery. Anyone is involved. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So, what kind of area you are involved in, Kalyan?
So I'm an assistant director of planning, so I'm involved in some small construction projects as well as some purchasing equipments or some project materials, some machineries or for the livelihood development programs, likewise.
Right. For example, now that you are involved in the projects, so when you are doing that one, so you have to have you should have a knowledge whether that the price may be lowest so you can see the A and B are quoting for the one project. A is
Yeah.
lower than the B, but you have to sometimes in the project you have a two component of the tenders: technical evaluation and price evaluation.
Price evaluation. Yeah.
Likewise, so it's a technical evaluations are more important.
Hmm.
So you have to give the priority for the technical evaluation.
Yes, sir.
Normally in the government tenders, procurement methods, you give a high marks for the technical, not for the price.
But unfortunately, many of the government projects still they are concerning about the low price.
Yes, low, but it's depend on the who is evaluating this one, no?
Yeah, yeah.
And also
And
criteria.
they give very low wage for the need analysis.
Yeah, that's why we have to improve the policies. That's when you are doing the high-end projects, you have to give a high marks for the technical experts.
Sometimes, sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sometimes the tender procedures or procurement procedures are always up to the standards, but that the equipments or materials what we bought is not suitable for complete the project.
That's why you have to make
Yeah.
a baselines
Yeah.
for some
Yeah.
government projects. They are mentioned you have to purchase the material within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Likewise, they are
That's right.
giving. Recently, we have done the
Exactly, sir.
Reed Avenue hockey ground. You need exact leveling. You need that very minimum deviation allowed for the foreign turf supply. So what we specified, we need the laser leveling asphalt level machine. So it automatically level. So likewise in the tender we specified that one. So that's why when you are preparing the document and when you are doing the work, you need the expertise to come and give the input.
Yes, sir.
So economic feasibility, there's earlier that someone asked that cost estimation. So that economic feasibility is one of the, most of the private developers are looking on this economic feasibility. Cost estimation, estimating total project cost, including land acquisition, construction equipment, and contingency expenses. Financial analysis, assessing funding options, cash flow, projections, and potential of profitability. Because now, for example, most of the apartment people are depend on the pre-sales. That is one of the worst case we are having. If you have a good client base, you are okay. But if your client base is not good, or you don't have much relationships to save the apartment, your cash flow may be struck. And also important to do the market analysis. This is the most important. Evaluating the market demand for the project intent to use, such as residential, commercial, industrial purpose. For example, now that if we are going to put for example, you are going to do a vehicle manufacturing plant here for the locals. So you can bring the Lamborghinis. No? Say no need to do in the plant. You plan to bring the Lamborghinis, but you order 10 Lamborghinis. But it's very difficult to sell. So market analysis you have to identify. Similarly, if you want to put a hospital, so somewhere in the Medirigiri, somewhere in Dambulla, you put a luxury type hotel, hospital, not worth. But putting a hotel, much worth than that. So market analysis is more important. And the legal and regulatory feasibility. Zoning and land use. Reviewing the zoning laws and land use regulation to ensure the project complies with the local audience. as I said, now recently some municipal councils are gazetted under the Urban Development Authority. Under that, some of the projects, as I said last year, also I got this same example. So the indoor stadiums. Earlier, it allowed, especially in the Urban Development Authority, especially Colombo and the Hivala-Galkisa Municipal Council area, they are allowed to do in the commercial sites, but they are not allowing to in the residential area. And also they put a clause to do the minimum land area is a 40 purchase. Likewise, a lot of regulation came. So when you are doing the projects, it's more important to identify those things. And the permits and approval. Identify the necessary permits and approval required for the government authorities and regulatory bodies. Other thing is the operation feasibility. Operational requirements. Determine the operational needs and maintain requirements for the completed project. You know that PET scan machine for the PET scan machine we brought more than 4 or 5 years ago by getting funds from the public. No, people donated that. In that time, they have a procurement committee of Sri Lanka, health ministry, I think. They have an issue. They want to buy a PET scan, not the A grade one, B grade one. They have enough money, but the procurement ministry of that procurement health ministry procurement officials say we should buy the B grade one. Then the public, there's a lot of public, the people who involve the project, they said why we are giving the money. You have to buy the superior one. For example, you have to buy the Benz, not the Toyota one. Like that, lot of argument. And finally, with the pressure, they purchase the A-class one. But what happened later? The maintenance cost is much higher than, and the government cannot maintain it. If we purchase a B class, maybe per monthly maintenance cost around 4 million, something like that. But now we have to spend more than 8 or 9 million. So that's why, so that operation level is a more important. That is valid for our normal economy. You can buy sometime Benz car or BMW, whatever. But so maintaining, you have to have enough income to maintain that. The insurance will be also very high. So the operation is one of the key point. So same time, a lot of people are doing the hotels, hotels, shops. They can't maintain. Even they can't open and keep it because no people to work like that. Operational needs, no resources to work. So resources management planning for the different use and management of resources during the project preparation phase. So this is the summary of the feasibility. I'm touching the topics, so you have to read, and you have a lot nowadays you have a lot of AI technology, so you can put you can get the details very easily. In summary, feasibility studies in constructions are comprehensive assessment of going through the understanding the project potential success or failure. They help stakeholder make informed decisions, minimize risk, and ensure that the project align technical, economic, legal, and environment criteria. Then we will move to feasible study methods and tools. Feasibility studies in construction projects involve various techniques and tools to assess the viability, risk, and potential success and proposed project. Methods help in the gathering and analyzing data, ensuring the decisions are well informed and that the project is feasible from the multiple perspective, including technical, financial, legal, and environmental aspects. So you need to identify the tools. These are some of the direct requirements as a purchasing procurement executives. They have to know about these things. So SWOT analysis. So it's a basic and very popular one. What are the strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats? Analysis is a strategic planning tool used to identify the internal and external factors that can affect the project. It helps to understanding the project potential advantage, strength and opportunities, and challenges, weakness, and threats. Advantages we can categorize as a strength and opportunities, and the challenges, weakness, and threats. For example, now SWOT analysis. So when you are getting the project, say medical equipment, you are planning to have a medical equipment. Say you are trying to do the sanitizer manufacturing, no mask manufacturing. What is the strength and opportunity? What are the potential advantage? When you're COVID time, it's a huge advantage. There are a lot of strength, a lot of opportunities are there. The strength is you can have easily have materials. So cloth manufacturers like the Perera, they are switched to do the mask material, no? Fabricate the mask. So that is, if the opportunities is, they change. Strength is they have a financial capacity, then they have equipment like that. The challenge, the weakness, and the threats. The new, so the Colombo new guy is going and put a hotel in the Pitakotu. It's a lot of challenges there. Threats are there. Because a lot of people are doing the hotels. Weakness. The weakness is he don't have any lot of labor. So he can't work in the Pitakotu. You need a 24-hour operation. That time you have to have that is, but if the guy who want to open a hotel, he can't work in the night. This is his weakness. So every project you have to identify what is the strength, weakness, opportunities, and the threats. Then the market analysis. As I said, market feasibility is one of the things. So market analysis is one of the tools you have to do using. So market analysis involves assessing the demand and supply condition of the type of construction project being considered. This includes evaluating target market, competition, pricing strategies, and potential customer segments. It helps determine whether there is sufficient demand for the project and expected market trend. So now the 2000, I believe the golden era of the construction is the 2010 to 15 of this country. After 15, it little bit drag, but after the East attack, it went down. But that time, lot of office building came. Okay, office building. But after the COVID, the lot of that office building, like Colombo City Center, Cinema and Live, all started 2012-13. But after that, that lot of now people are not, the young crowd is not willing to go for the shopping. They'll try to go do the online shopping. The office building construction, with the working from home, no one is hiring now office spaces. As a solution of that, people came that short time renting office. The Bumblebee near the Keels, they have a building. You have a meeting rooms. You can hire for few hours. Likewise, market analysis is more important. Depend on changing of the market, you have to change. So the office building developer, because I know that Bumblebee area, a lot of developers, they are doing the office building and rent it out. Now they have to switch, or they have to convert, because a lot of buildings are vacant. And the cost benefit analysis. The CBA is a financial tool used to compare the cost and benefit of the project. It involves calculating total expected cost, including construction, operational, and maintenance costs, and the ancillary benefits, such as revenue, cost saving, or other advantage. The analysis helps you determine the project financial viability and whether the benefit outweigh of the cost. So you know that, as I said, financial benefits is the most private investors are thinking. So as I said, sometimes you know that fixed cost, when you are doing the development, so building cost is the fixed cost. But the electricity bill, fuel cost, labor salaries, wages, it can consider as a variable cost. And also maintenance cost will be a variable cost. So such a case, you have to have a good knowledge, and you have to hire proper people, financial people. Recently, one of me said, if you are doing the business, you have to hire proper people. But you should have ability. Those are cost. You can't do everything. Then you can't perform very well. So that then based on that, you have to save the cost, and like that, you have to think about how to get profit in the project. The analysis helps to determine the project financial viability and whether the benefit outweigh the cost. For some of the developers, they always thinking whether I am going to invest on this, or shall I keep the money in the bank, getting a low rate. Nowadays, FD 6%, 7%. You are getting 7% interest, but very low risk. But 2-3 years ago, bank paid 30% interest for our FDs, no, 25 to 30%. Why? That time there's a huge risk of putting money in the bank, because huge threat on whether banks are going to collapse. When the risk is go up, the benefit go high. No? If you invest on a high risk one, the benefit is high. The break-even analysis. Simple thing. Say someone is doing block manufacturing. So within 1 year or 2 years, the machine is usable, can use for 2 years or 3 years. Then you have to see whether with that fixed cost, and the operation cost. When the feasibility break even the cost. Lot of factories like Haley's, Haymas, they always very concerned about this break even analysis. They identified which point of units that their cost is equal to the income. And also environment impact assessment. This is a compulsory requirement to do the massive big projects. But also that is also tool. Because sometimes regulations say you have to do the EIO, TIA, whatever. TIA is a traffic impact assessment. EIA is environment impact assessment. Likewise, so that EIA is a process to evaluate the environment consequence of construction project. It includes assessing potential impacts on air and water quality, wildlife, habits, and local communities. As I said, one of the I work in one of that indoor sport project. After 10 o'clock, they can't operate the indoor cricket stadium because community more than 5 to 10, more than 5, so they can get the injunction from the court if that your sound is too high. The neighbors can't live there and around there. They can't sleep. Children can't study. So that's important to do the environment impact assessment, especially for the large project. Now you know that Mana, we have a wind plant. When I'm also work to the investor, and I'm also pleased that time. I am very happy to do that project, that windmill project. So, but nowadays we went for another project. Then Environment Authority not allowing to do that. The problem is that wind plant, there's a huge hum is generating when the plant is moving. It's very harmful for the residents. They can't sleep. If they now, unfortunately, they have not taken any measures or government law, that legal action, but it will be an impact. So better to do the environmental impact before you start the project. You have to do the technical impact assessment and evaluate that your proposal. This is one of the technique to evaluate the environment impact, environment feasibility. Environment impact assessment is one of the key tool to assess the things. So importance of the design in construction. So design phase in the construction project is critical as it sets the foundation for all subsequent stages of the project. Good design not only impacts the functionality and the aesthetic of the finished structure, but also influence the project efficiency, sustainability, safety, and cost effectiveness. So good design, normally people are saying the good design is aesthetically and functionality. So sometimes when you are doing the design, you have to think about the constructability. It will give advantage to all the contractor not to delay the project. Sustainability. You can think about the sustainability of the project. Safety. Design stage, you have to think about the safety. During the construction, during the operation. In the Lotus Tower, aesthetically very beautiful someone have been there in the top, the viewing deck without safety net, very attractive outside. You can see directly outside. Okay. But after that suicide issue, that not suicide, that the one girl is jumped from the tower. No? So after that, they have covered that. The functionality problem. So they have covered. Then it's not aesthetically good, but you have to do it. You have to think about the safety and also cost effectiveness. You can do with the SS or you can do the steel. It's depend on the cost. So it has to be designed. Which kind of material you have to use. And also it's very important engage the stakeholders, right stakeholder in the right time. It will give you advantage to it's give advantage to success the project very smoothly. Engaging stakeholders design process is crucial for the ensuring project meets the need expectations of all parties. Who are the design stakeholders in the project? Can anyone tell? I can't hear. Can someone tell who are the design stakeholders? I mentioned in previous slide as well. Who can tell that one? Anyone in the? I think all are recording and no one in the lecture.
Clients,
Design stakeholders.
The architectures, engineers like that.
Right. Very good.
right.
Architectural, architect, QS, structural engineers, contract administrators, like that. Stakeholders can include clients and users, regulatory bodies, community members, and other who have an interest in the project. For example, if you want to get approvals, you are working in the frequency project. So you try to get a frequency, or you try to get the broad some FM channel like that. There are so many authorities, so many stakeholders to get the approvals and like that. Key aspects of importance of design construction project: functionality and usability. So the well-designed building and structures meet the intended functional requirement of the users. This includes considering the layout, specs, utilization, and specific needs of the occupants or activity it will house. Proper design ensures that the building serves its purpose effectively, whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, or public facility. And it's more important to have a functionality and usability. Now you know that most of some buildings, a lot of spaces are waste. Some of the hotels, some floors are designed for the wedding halls like that, but functionality is very poor. We have the same thing in the Lotus Tower also, because we design that circular holes. That also that very difficult functionality is very, because you can't get a wedding on that. You can't see, you don't have a continuous what we can say, that attraction or whatever, that link is not there when you have a circular whole and the usability. So so public buildings, you should have proper usability. The staircases, lift has to be in the proper sizes as to the proper guidelines. Aesthetic and visual appeal. The design plays a critical role in the visual appeal of the construction project. Aesthetic consider can enhance the attractiveness of the building, contributing its market value and overall experience of its users. Good design balance aesthetic qualities with functionality, creating space that both beautiful are practical. Now, Lotus Tower very aesthetically very attractive, so that also more important. But if you are going for the World Trade Center, it's not attractive, But so that's Altair Tower, good design. So aesthetically, it's very good, new design. So that very attractive there. And also spaces also they are used very importantly. There all the balconies they use attractive balconies like that. And the other important thing, cost efficiency and budget management. Effective design can genuinely impact for the cost effective of the construction project. If you don't have a proper design, you don't know where you're going to end up with the cost. So always you have to have a proper design and you have to freeze the design to manage the cost. By optimizing use of the material, simplifying construction process. So as a structural engineers, we always thinking about putting a reinforcement 6-meter bars and 12-meter bars because it's freely available in the market, 6 meter and 12 meters. So if we try to always to minimize the wastage. So the architectures always doing the tile layout to minimize the wastage. It will save country monies, client monies both, and also time also. It also aids accurate cost estimation and financial planning. Then another important part is sustainability and environmental impact. Design decision influence the environmental impact of the construction project. Another project we recently did, the mini hydro project in Denia. We call Cosmo. So there are a lot of environment effects. We are disturbing stream, so we are disturbing wild animals, but so we have to address the issues. Design decision influence the environmental impact of the construction project. For example, if you want to put a bridge, or if you want to put we take same example. So the mini hydro channel, so the water take from the weir to turbines, you have to have a channel. So you construct the channel, cutting the river bank, but it's not environmental friendly. So better to go for the piers and put the channel on top of that. Sustainable design practice such as energy efficiency building systems, sustainable material and waste reduction strategies contribute to minimize the project ecological footprint. So when you are defining the materials also, you have to think about the sustainability. Currently, these days, a lot of people are discuss about the carbon footprint. So they try to minimize that. And also nowadays, a lot of government people know they are encouraging green building concept. Can also improve the energy efficiency. You don't need Green building means you have to save the energy by using materials, equipment, design orientation like that. And also it improve the long term sustainability of the building. Anyone involved in the green building design? Not the design, at least construction. No, you are using green building. One of students. Anyone using the green building or involved in project like that? So you have to answer. Same time I'm asking because I know most of you are not in the lecture, but someone has to answer. Otherwise, it will boring to me as well. And the safety and
I
compliance.
don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Someone you have to interact with me. Otherwise, this.
I don't have much experience on that, sir. That's why I didn't answer.
So, okay, safety and compliance, that's the thing. So, safety is a critical concern of the construction projects. As I said, the Lotus Tower, now they have implement special mesh to cover the observation deck. Then no one can jump. But aesthetical look, you have to tolerate that. And the good design ensure that the building complies with all relevant safety standards and regulation, including fire, safety, structural integrity, and accessibility. You know that the lot of the staircases, fire staircases, you have a minimum width because because in the heavy fire, the large fire, you need a escape route. So width has to be sufficient. The good design, you have to address these things. For the fire staircase, you can't use the slippery tiles, no? Because that time people are moving, people are running. So you have to understand those, identify those critical cases. To also incorporate features that enhance the safety and well-being of occupants, such as adequate lighting, ventilation, and emergency exits. As I said, fire exit should be very well designed. You have to design very well. Adaptability and the flexibility. Design can influence building adaptability and future needs and changes. As I said, now 2015 to 18, a lot of people did the office building. Now you have to change it. Sometimes you have to change for the restaurant, open restaurant, like that. There should that adaptability should be there for that building. The flexible design allow to modification and expansion without requiring expensive structural changes. Because you can't do a lot of major structural changes, but you can do the HAVC lighting changes. You can use for another purpose. There will be a cost, but it's not a huge cost. This adaptability practically important sectors where technological advancements or changing user needs may require updates or recognize of the space. Innovation and technological integration. The design phase is an opportunity to integrate innovation, technologies, and material into the project. This could include smart building technologies, advanced construction techniques, or sustainable material that improve the performance of the efficiency. For example, you are doing a high-rise building facade you use for the glass. You have to use a high-quality low E glass to reduce the energy. Likewise, innovations you have to introduce to the project. For the summary, it's summary designing the fundamental aspects of the construction project that influence every stage and outcomes. It impacts the project functionality as aesthetic, cost, sustainability, safety, and marketability. A well-executed design process ensures that the project meets objectives, satisfies stakeholders, and delivers value over the long term. Any question from you? Okay, so we will move to next one. Estimation. Any quantity surveys in this class?
Yes, sir.
Any quantity surveys?
Yes, sir. I am doing quantity survey.
Sorry, I can't hear.
I am doing quantity surveying part also, sir.
All right, good. So you have any background for do that?
Yes, sir. I am a civil engineer and also quantity surveying also.
So
is
very good,
our
very
part.
good. So estimation, definition, and the purpose of this estimation. Estimation in the construction projects refer the process of the predicting cost, resources, time, and material required to complete the construction project. Nowadays, engineer estimation is one of the key part to identify the project cost. So people always clients are asking to do the engineering estimate, but client are always thinking about the cost. Okay, but when you are coming to the as a good estimator or a good engineer, as you said, so you need to think about the materials to do that one, and also suppliers to do that one, and also that durability of the things, and also machineries, whether the machineries are available. Is it possible to do likewise? So it involves calculating anticipated expenses for the labor, material, equipment, and the other associated costs, and including overheads, contingency, and profit margins. Basically, estimate is doing these things. So he calculate the expenses for the labors, materials, he do the breakdowns, equipment cost, and like that. But you have to think about the practicability of the construction and estimating. Normally for the building construction, so every floor the formwork rate or concrete rate or reinforcement rate will increase. Why? For the ground floor you put 100 rupees, in the first floor you are putting 110. Why? So you are saying, so can you explain that why the prices have increased? Because you have to think about the construction ability, and also that the time taken for the so you have to identify the resources, why you are resource amount. Sometimes you are doing the 10-story building, you need a tower crane, so you have to think about the resources. So normal 2-story rates are not applicable for the 10-story building. So thinking practicability is more important. Estimation is a crucial step in the project planning and management, providing a detailed projection of the financial and resource requirement of the project. Most of the leaders of the project get their decision especially based on your estimations, construction estimations. Then the construction methodology and the materials. Okay. So then the estimation is one of the key point to get the decisions. The purpose of estimation. as I said, estimation help to creating an accurate project budget, which is essential for financial planning and securing funding. It provides clear picture of the total expected cost, allowing stakeholders to allow financial resources effectively and plan for cash flow needs throughout the project's life cycle. Okay. So therefore you have to have a more accurate estimation, because sometimes, for example, when you are doing you are preparing rough estimate, not the rough, you are estimating the budget for the project. You budget it for the 100 million. But actual cost is much more than that, 125 or 130. But once the project is going on, you realize that this project will go up. Then the investor, he have only 80 million, and he getting another 20 million back. So he can manage with the 100 million, but he can't manage with the 120 million. Then without last 20 million, project will wreck. Investor also try to skip some payments from the laborers, material supplies like that. So then it will be a huge problem. So therefore, accurate estimation is one of the key part to success the project. Bid preparation and tendering. For contractors, estimation is a critical preparing bid for construction projects. A detailed and accurate estimate enables the contractor to submit the competitive and realistic bid, outline the cost associated with the labor, material, equipment, and overheads. This helps in winning contracts and negotiating terms with the clients. For contractors, estimation is because to win the project, you have to estimate properly with proper margins. So because lot of for government project, people who involved it, they know how many bidders are bidding for these things. Therefore, you need a proper cost estimated. If you did the mistake, you will lose the project. But sometimes in the negative way, you maybe did the mistake, but you will win the project, but you can't perform. Recently, one of the major projects that major contractors, their bidding prices are 2.1 billion, 2.3 billion, 1.6 billion. Winner is 1.2 billion. Took the difference. So, but as one of your students said, colleague said, government always think the lower budget and they award it. After awarding, they can't perform. The project definitely will delay. So that is the thing. So you can't give the far low value. You have to always think about the engineering value, engineer estimate. But still, engineer estimate also nowadays government organizations use the old formulas, old rates. So you have to identify proper. You have to update with the day-to-day, because the rates are updating day-to-day. So you have to use it that one. And also cost control and management. The people who work with the contractors, they know how they control the cost. They are paying labor salary every 15 days. So they pay only advance advance for the day-to-day expenditures and pay the salary later labors. material they pay credit with the credit period. So they are controlling and managing. And also you have to reduce the wastage. It also one way of the controlling funds. No? Throughout the construction process, estimation serves as a baseline for the cost control and management. By comparing actual expenses which estimate cost, project managers can identify variances, monitor cost performance, and implement corrective measures to keep the project within the budget. Okay, so that sometime the project delay, that also that it will cost overrun. You have to pay for the temporary works, you have to pay for the officers like that. So that also more important. And resource allocation and planning. Normally planning engineers doing these things. Cost controlling, resource allocating, planning. Because for example, the small 5 houses project, you have to compact the soil. You have to manage that compactor. You can't buy 5, no. You have to rotate the 5, but you have to manage it, controlling it. So estimation provide insight into the quantity and type of resources need to be project, including labor, material, and equipment. As I said, the compactor machine, you have to plan, you have to estimate hiring rates, or you have to share with other projects. The cost has to be shared. You don't need to allocate the new work. You have to allocate the sharing cost. This information is crucial for scheduling and resource planning, ensuring that necessary resources are available at the right time and right quantities. So the cement for the project, you don't need for the slab. So you think you have to do the 100-meter cube slab. You need a 400 cement bag. Okay. So you need before the, so you're planning to concrete next month, next Wednesday. You need the cement done within next week. You don't need it 1 month ago. So right time, you need the wet material. And also you have to bring sufficient amount, quantity. You don't need to bring more because wastage is also one of the worried thing in the cost allocation overrunning. So planning means you have to do a proper plan. Then the wastage will minimize. Then the risk management. So by identifying potential cost and resource requirement, estimation help identify the mitigating financial risk allocate with the project. So quantity surveyors, they have to identify the risk management. They have to give the risk management method. For example, so rainy season is coming. So the sand price can be go up. So as a cost estimator or engineer, you have to have a stockpile of the sand. If there's a gossip going that cement are going up, but you can't stock all the cement, but at least you have to have a plan next 1 week or 2 weeks to stock the cement. Otherwise, until they increase the price, the market does not have a cement for the work. And also this include accounting the uncertain and potential cost overrun, enabling project and plan for the contingency and unexpected expenses. Contingency means you can't predict there is a provision for the unexpected works. It can occur from the client side or contractor side, but client provision is only for the client. Okay, not for the contractor. But when you are budgeting, you have to keep it allocate for the contingency. So contingency is one of the main important part. So you can. So government project, I think they allocating 10%. Previously they allocate like that. I don't know how it's now. So all the officials are play around that 10%. So you can't do a lot of variation, or you can't change the specifications or whatever within the project within project time period. So if the changes are coming, sometime, for example, as I said, new gazettes are coming. For example, before using the VAT threshold, there's a gossip saying that VAT threshold they're going to reduce. That is a risk for the subcontractors. Their price they have to pay SSLR and VAT they have to pay. So they should get a precaution for that. Type of estimate. In the construction project, various of estimates are used to different stages to provide accurate and relevant cost information. Depending on the project stage, there are different type of estimates are implemented. These estimates are vary in detail, accuracy, and purpose of depending on the project phase and the specific need of the stakeholders. Preliminary estimate, also known as a rough order of magnitude, ROM estimates, conceptual estimates. For example, if you are going to go to the steel building, we are asking what is the construction cost of the square feet? Preliminary estimate. So we are saying 10,000 rupees for the square feet for the normal steel house with the minimum side without side opening. So then we know what is the project cost. If we have 100,000, we multiply it and think and see this will be the project cost. And also we add another 20% for the other infrastructures or modifications. So rough calculation estimate is more important to before get the decision of the project. To provide initial cost estimate early the project life cycle, often before detailed design or scope of fully developed. To determine project feasibility and help make decisions on whether to proceed with future development. Characteristics. Based on the limited information such as project size, location, and type, accuracy range typically 30 to 50 because you don't have enough information. You are doing the rough calculation. Used for initial budgeting and financial. This is only for the initial things. So assemblies estimate. The purpose to estimate cost by grouping various components. So assembling of projects such as walls, roofs, plumbing system. The characteristics more detailed than previous estimates, but still based on general assumption. For example, for the Rajagiri, I said the building project, we estimate piling 30 million. Approval 10 million. Okay. Superstructure 150 million. Finishers 150 million. MEP 100 million. Like that, we are grouping this one. That is more accurate, but much better than the preliminary estimate, but it's not 100% correct. But we are assuming, not assuming with the previous data, previous project experience, we are calculating like that. More detailed than the preliminary estimate. As I said, preliminary estimate say steel building square feet 10,000. But here, piling this much, steel structure this much, like that you can get a details. Small segments. useful for comparing different design options or systems. Accuracy range is typical 20% to 30%. Earlier 30% to 50%, now it's reduced to 20% to 30%. Detailed estimates, also known as a definitive estimates and final estimate. Definitive estimate and final estimate purpose provide a comprehensive and high detailed cost estimate based on complete project plan, specification and scope of work. Include itemized cost to labors, material, equipment and subcontractors and overhead required through the understanding of the project details. Accuracy range 5% to 10%. There's a minimum deviations. We can use this for the final budgeting as well. Okay. Bid estimate. The bid prepare formal bid for the construction project, usually submitted by the contractor to the project owners. Based on the detailed construction document and specification, include direct cost, labor, material, equipment, all the resources to be counted. High detail and accurate, reflecting the contractor final pricing. Quantity takeoff estimate. So purpose to determine the quantities to material and labor required for a project based on detailed drawings and specifications. Involves measuring listing and material needs such as concrete, steel. So that you have to calculate how many steel tonnage you need. The implementing time we are calculating by the contractor detail wise. How many plywoods you want, like that. How many GI pipes you want. Provide basis of detailed estimate and material ordering. So most of the time we are getting for the material ordering. So there are cost estimation softwares. So these are the softwares. Costex is one of the pricing softwares we are using. Lot of cost estimators. Plan Swift also another softwares. So and also nowadays BIM is more important to do the procurement work. So you can get all detail through the BIM model. So BIM also one of software to model the house, and you get the cost estimate as well, and then not only cost and also material quantities. Okay, so that is one of the key features of these softwares. Anyone has worked in the BIM model?
So I didn't work with BIM. I have worked with Plan Swift software.
Plan Swift, good. So how you get the quantities?
We import the drawing to the software.
Good. Yeah, you have to use the new technology, save your time and more accuracy, and you have a good library. So you can if anything inquiries coming, you can go back and refer the details likewise. Those are the advantages. So this is a procurement overview of the construction. So I will try to cover this part also, because I think procurement overview. The few slides I have to cover this now. Anyway. So only I have allocated 2 classes, I think, but I think I need another one. We'll try to cover next time also because so procurement in the construction industry refer the process of acquiring goods, service or works from external sources for complete the construction project. This process involves selection contractors, suppliers, service providers, as well as negotiating contract, managing relationship with these external parties. Procurement is a critical aspect of construction project management and encompass various stages, including planning, tendering, contract formation, and contract administration. Actually, procuring the construction is a difficult part. You have to procure the designers. After procuring the designers, you have to develop the project design and concept and things. After that, you have to procure the contractor to do the work. Normally, that project managers do a lot of this role, but as a procurement, especially in the government sector, the procurement officers, they have to know about this process. So these are very critical items. You have to keep reading on this. So your questions and your assignments will directly on these aspects. Element of the procurement process. Anyone can know about what are the procurement process key elements? Tendering. So you can do the tendering for the professionals or construction, whatever. The tendering is one of the main procurement process. Contracting. After you have to make a contracts. Purchasing. Management. So most difficult part is the management. So you have to manage the contract with all with the stakeholders. You have to comply the clauses. Preparation of tender document. Tender document is a critical to the tendering process as they provide detailed information about the project, the scope, work, specification, conditions, and term and conditions are most important in the project. No? Specification, grade of the concrete, because you have to give the specification. For the slab has to be grade 25, column grade 40, foundation grade 50. Like that specification you have to give. Tender, advertisement and invitation. And the project owner or client advertise the tender and invite qualified contractor to submit the bids. The invitation may be open to the all interested parties, open tenders, or limited to the selected groups. Most of the cases in the private projects, they selecting the selecting tendering, selective one. Submission of the tenders. Contractor prepare and submit the bids response to the tender document. So tender document specified what is the tender closing time, tender requirement, required bonds and guarantees, like that. No. So submission of the tenders are more critical, and you need the professionals to comply the requirements. Normal people can't easily do the tender. You can't just fill the things and give. No? You have to study, you have to comply the requirements. Sometimes they are asking our machinery details. That is one of the main requirements, and also your financial reports. Everything you have to submit as per the request by the tender. Tender opening and evaluation. Once the submission period closes, tender submissions are open and the bids are evaluated. Most of the cases, government projects, that if they say the tender close time is 21st November 5:30, all the tenders has to be put into boxes on the right time before the bid closing time. Anyone is coming after 1 second or 1 minute after that, they are not expected. So that is the tender submission also very, very important, and also opening. So the government project, they have opening all with the that open, we call open tenders. They are opening and say contractor A is this much, contractor B this much, like that. And also that time the procurement manager, he has to give a assurance to all the bidders, their performance bond is correct, their bid bond is correct, not the performance, bid bond is there, their technical reports are there, all the mandatory requirements are complying with that. Award of contract. After evaluating the bids, the project owner select the most suitable contractor based on the criteria such as price, technical capability, experience, and the compliance with the tender requirements. The selected contractor is the award the contract. Both parties sign the formal agreement, outline the terms and conditions of the, because after tender is lower there, after you finalize the guide, you have to normally we call LOA. We issue the letter of acceptance to the contractor, that because all the bidders are give the offer. So the owner is accepting that one. So then there will be a contract. No? So there, because you are always going to be with the consideration. So there should be offer and also acceptance to make a agreement, contract. The selected contract is awarded the contract and both parties sign the formal agreement. So basically first they will give the LOA, letter of acceptance. After you receive the letter of acceptance, it's confirmed that you are getting the contract. Post-tender negotiations. In some cases, there may be post-tender negotiation, finalize the specific terms, clarify aspect of the bids, like that. But government project is very rare, but a lot of private projects, there are a lot of negotiations. Sometimes they change the specifications also, because sometimes contractor, recently what happened to the one of the project, we design as a steel building. However, that the lowest bidder, I think they lowest, and they come and say they can save another 50 million or 75 million. Client agree, and client told give the value engineering proposal. The negotiate. So then they say they will give the proposal, but they ask the 25% cost advantage on that. They offer 75 to the client and 25 to the contractor. And also they agree to reduce the construction cost by another 1 month. So that is another advantage for the client. No? Then the procurement strategies. Procurement strategies in the construction projects are approach used to structure the delivery of the project, involve the allocation of responsibility, risk, and resource among the parties involved. Choosing the right procurement strategy is crucial as it affects the project cost, quality, and timeline. Different strategies are suited for different project types. Client need the market conditions. So today I will stop from here. I have to start from another 30 slides there. Anyway, so I will try to cover next class maybe 2.5 hours. So we have to we have to do another extra class. So today I'm stopped because I'm also too tired because I came from another lecture in another institute. So anyway, so we will continue from next lecture. For lecture 1, and we start the class 2. I will discuss with your course coordinator to conduct another class, so I will try get another half an hour more in next class. Okay, thank you. We will meet next lecture. Okay, good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night,
Night,
sir.
sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir.